A dramatic voiceover story. Some families break loudly. Others break quietly behind closed doors, polite smiles, and dinner tables where no one really looks at each other. This was the kind of family Emily Carter grew up in. Emily was 15 years old and lived in a small town in Indiana, in a white wooden house, with a porch that creaked every time someone stepped on it. From the outside, it looked like a normal American home. Inside, it felt like a place where she never fully belonged. Emily lost her mother when she was 7. Cancer didn't come like a storm. It came slowly, silently, stealing pieces of her mother day by day. By the time Emily understood what forever meant, her mother was already gone. Her father, Mark Carter, tried his best. He packed lunches, learned how to braid hair, and sat beside Emily's bed every night, promising her that everything would be okay. But grief changes people. 3 years later, Mark remarried. Her name was Linda. Linda came into the family with clean habits, careful words, and a daughter of her own, Ashley, who was 1 year younger than Emily. Linda never raised her voice. She never insulted Emily. She never hit her. She didn't have to. Her distance did the damage. From the very first day, Emily felt it. The invisible line. Ashley was my daughter. Emily was Mark's child. At the dinner table, Linda asked Ashley about her day. Emily waited. The question never came. When money was discussed, Ashley's needs were important. Emily's were optional. And slowly, quietly, Emily learned a painful lesson. Silence was safer than asking. The school project. One Monday morning, Emily's English teacher made an announcement. "There's a statewide writing competition," she said. "Winners may qualify for college scholarships. This could change your future." The word college echoed in Emily's mind. College wasn't just school. It was freedom. It was escape. It was a life where she wouldn't feel like an extra piece in someone else's family. But the project required materials, books, printed drafts, and research supplies, things that cost money. Emily thought about asking her father, but he worked long hours. He looked tired all the time, and Linda handled the finances. Emily already knew the answer, so she didn't ask. Instead, she opened a small box hidden under her bed. Inside were crumpled bills, birthday money, babysitting money, coins she'd saved for months. She went to the store alone. She chose the cheapest options. Still, the total was more than she expected. When the cashier handed her the receipt, Emily stared at the number. Her stomach tightened. She folded the receipt and slipped it into her bag. She didn't know that piece of paper would change everything. The receipt. That evening, Emily left her bag on the kitchen chair. Linda was cleaning, moving with quiet efficiency. When she picked up the bag, it tipped over. Books fell out. Pens rolled across the floor. And then she saw the receipt. Linda unfolded it. Her eyes scanned the numbers. Her lips tightened. "Emily," she called. Emily froze. "Yes?" she answered from the hallway. "Come here." Emily walked slowly, her heart pounding. Linda held up the receipt. "What is this?" Emily swallowed. "School supplies." Linda shook her head. "This amount is inappropriate for someone like you." "Someone like you." The words hit harder than shouting ever could. "You should have asked," Linda continued. "This kind of spending is irresponsible. Ashley doesn't waste money like this." Emily wanted to explain. About the competition. About college. About her dreams. But her voice stayed locked in her chest. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Linda folded the receipt and placed it back in the bag, as if the conversation was over. But for Emily, it wasn't. That receipt wasn't just paper. It was proof. Proof that no matter how careful she was, she would always be judged differently. The night everything changed. 3 days later, Emily got sick. At first, It was just a headache. Then, fever. By nightfall, she was shaking under her blanket. Her father was out of town for work. Linda noticed Emily hadn't come down for dinner. She knocked once. No answer. When she opened the door, Emily was pale, barely conscious. Linda hesitated. Then she called the doctor. She sat by Emily's bed all night, changing cold cloths, checking her temperature, listening to her breathing. At some point, Emily opened her eyes. "My mom used to do that," she whispered. Linda froze. "She stayed, even when she was tired," Emily murmured. "She never made me feel like a burden." Emily fell asleep again. Linda didn't move. For the first time, she saw Emily clearly, not as a responsibility, not as an expense, but as a child who had already lost too much. The truth in the bag. The next morning, Linda found Emily's bag again. She pulled out the receipt. This time, she looked closer. Books, printing, research.